Welcome to a devlog. As a result of me failing to make a tutorial or succeeding at making a tutorial which was heavily plagiarized. A little while ago, I made a pretty successful tutorial on how to make a smoke trail using Unity's particle system. And yes, I do consider this a success. So I figured this would be such a cool opportunity to learn how to make one of these in VFX Graph as I make the transition over to the universal render pipeline. So off I went on my merry way, installed Visual Effects Graph into my Unity project, brought in a smoke texture from Unity's particle pack, which for your convenience you can find linked below. I created a brand new visual effect graph, assigned our smoke texture to it, set the UV mode to flipbook blend, and told it to use soft particles. I also set the flipbook size to 5x5. And just like that, we had some puffy smoke clouds. Next, I messed with the size over lifetime so that the smoke particles would go from smaller to bigger. And then with the color over lifetime to make the smoke go from a whiter color to a darker, more transparent color over time. Now, to make it look like something that would come out of the back of a rocket or a missile or something, I increased the capacity to 100, deleted these unnecessary nodes, and added a shape module. We'll make it a circle with a really small radius. And then a blend module, because without one of these things act weird, and I wish I could tell you why, but Unity's documentation on the matter isn't great. Either way, we'll set the lifetime to 3 and the blend to 0. In the update context, we'll add a flipbook player to smooth up our animations, and we'll add a velocity with the small positive Y values so that the smoke rises over time. Yes, I too can see it's negative, but it should be positive, and future me will come back to fix this problem. The last thing we'll need to do is set the update context to render in world space instead of local space so that it actually is affected by movement. And now we can attach it to some kind of object, and when we move it around, we have a nice looking smoke trail. Oh, and if you haven't figured out why this is a failed tutorial yet, well, no point trying to arm wrestle with those big guns. And now that we've done all this work, we may as well have some fun with it. I mean, the definition of the word fun should actually just be spawning lots of missiles with smoke trails in random positions with random rotations and random speeds. Needless to say, it was fun while it lasted, but it got old pretty quickly. I was scrolling through Twitter when I came through this badass sample package that Unity released with this meteorite visual effect. Now, I'm still in the process of breaking down how this grass works and other aspects of it, but I really like the idea of this miniature world that they've created to showcase the visual effect. So inspired by this, I decided I wanted to try and make one of these little worlds and use it to showcase my smoke trail effect. Over to Blender we go, where we'll add a circle, fill it in, and do a bit of extruding and scaling, extruding and scaling, extruding and scaling until we have something that looks like this. I've been itching to get my hands on Substance Painter for a while now, so what better excuse than on a weekend with a failed tutorial to spend lots of money. And to use it, we'll need to unwrap our model, so I'll use the really complicated method of just right-clicking it and saying Smart UV Project. And once unwrapped, we can export this model and bring it into Substance Painter. Now, I'll be honest, I have no idea how to use this program yet, so thankfully it comes with 30 free assets that you can download from their store every month, so I'm just gonna use those until I actually learn how to use the program, that is. We'll start off with something for the underground, which is some rock material thing I found on their site, and then I'll just mess with the scale of the UVs a bit until we have a nice alignment with our model. For the surface, I found another interesting looking material that we can use, some forest ground business, which I'll just drag and drop on there too. Once I was happy with the way the textures looked, I exported them and brought them back into Blender so that we could package them into an FBX, which we could then use in Unity to create a nice looking little world to show off our smoke trail. And after bringing it into Unity and extracting the textures, things look okay. We'll bring in Stickalungu, add a house with a little chimney and some smoke, and a double-story house, which I forgot to add the smoke for. Whilst you guys enjoy this view, I'm gonna go make a tutorial video or something that will actually get some views. Catch you next time.